In our Democracy 2012 coverage, we are focused on the race for U.S. Senate in Missouri with the incumbent Democratic candidate Claire McCaskill. Why should voters elect you?
Well, I think I've got a strong record of independence. When they rank us from 1 to 100, from the most liberal to the most conservative, for 6 years I've been smack dab in the middle because I've been willing to work with Republicans and my other colleagues to try to do bipartisan solutions to hard problems. I think that kind of moderation is what's going to really work on the gridlock that we have right now in Congress. I've also had a strong record of trying to cut federal spending and going after abusive contracting, particularly in Iraq and Afghanistan. I'd like to continue that work.
What is your plan to improve the economy?
Well, we need to shrink the size of the federal government. We need to bring down federal spending, which I've been working on with my Republican colleagues. We need to make sure that regulations have common sense. We have to have some regulations. Unlike my opponent, I believe some regulations are important, but we have to make sure that we don't go too far and handcuff our businesses in terms of productivity. And also, very different than my opponent, I believe we have to continue to invest in our young people. I believe Pell Grants and federally backed student loans are the key to the strength of our economy, the strength of the middle class, which has always been the envy of the world. So that's what I think we have to not lose sight of. While we shrink the size of government, we have to continue the investments in our education, science and technology, and our infrastructure.
What can the U.S. do in the Middle East?
Well, this is a complicated and dangerous neighborhood. And really, it's unfortunate that too many people are trying to use it politically right now. Every country is different. We have to keep investing in our intelligence community so we have eyes and ears on the ground. We have to protect Israel, our most important ally. We've got to make sure that Iran does not get a nuclear weapon. It is a very different record that my opponent and I have on this subject. He has voted to, in fact, give aid to Iran and voted against aid to Israel on some occasions. My record has been very solid about protecting Israel and also making sure that we invest in our intelligence community, because our enemies now are not necessarily a country. They are people all over the globe that want to do harm to the United States of America. That's why we have to keep modernizing our military and make sure, while we can cut some of the expenditures there, we have to be very careful that they're surgical and that it doesn't in any way impact our prowess in terms of our technology.
Now, tomorrow night we will hear from Todd Akin, the Republican candidate for Missouri's U.S. Senate seat.